Separating Europe from Asia, the Bosphorus is the narrowest strait in the world, and it's also one of the busiest. All shipping from the Black Sea has to pass through here. And for centuries, most people approached Istanbul by sea, and I hear there's nothing like it. The Bosphorus is one of the most famous stretches of water on the planet, and it's great to get out in a boat and see the geography and the landscape and get a sense of how Istanbul is expanding. The only downside is it plays havoc with your hair. At the foot of the Bosphorus Bridge in European Istanbul is one of the city's coolest, artiest neighbourhoods, Ortaköy. This is a pretty cosmopolitan area. For centuries, Turks, Jews, Greeks, Armenians lived here side by side. And then at the weekends, it's packed with Istanbul's party crowd, especially on Sundays when they come here to recover from their hangovers. How much is this? 70. Places like this, the House Cafe, one of Istanbul's most popular cafe chains, are a fair few puffs away from the smoke-filled tea rooms of the old town. There's a place in London called Camden Town Market, and this area reminds me a lot of that. But I think it's more chilled out and relaxed here. It's just so good to walk around, sit down, have food and chat to your friends. And also the sprinkling of glitter on top is being down by the water. Oh, it's great. This is another waterside attraction. It used to be a dry cargo warehouse. Now it's Istanbul Modern, Turkey's first museum of the contemporary arts. At the heart of the museum is a collection of 20th century Turkish artists. What's interesting is that modern Turkish art is thought to have started with the introduction of European styles in the late 19th century. So there are a lot of wannabe Monets and Toulouse-Lautrecs. This is Istiklal Caddesi, Istanbul's main 19th century shopping boulevard, and it's places like this that Europeans thought of when they called Istanbul the Paris of the East. If you ask me, it's more like any high street you've ever seen. Yes, the architecture is all there, but you'll find these stores anywhere in the world. The trams are pretty cool, though. And here we are, top of the retail chain. You might be wondering, why come all the way to Istanbul just to visit a shopping mall? Well, basically, if you live in the city and you have any social aspirations, this is where you come to shop, to eat, and to socialise. Over the last 2 decades, a whopping 50 shopping centres and malls have opened in this city, and there are another 15 in the pipeline. All catnip to Istanbul's new middle classes with their European tastes and pockets. You know, it's weird to think that the Grand Bazaar is just down the road, because this is another world entirely. But Istanbul has changed so much in the last 30 years. Did you know, for example, that if Turkey joined the EU, Istanbul would be Europe's youngest city, because the average age here is 16. To find out more about how Istanbul's changing, I've come to the city's coolest restaurant, Mikla, to meet journalist Vanessa Larson. Vanessa, I'm amazed at how young the population is here in Istanbul. Does that affect the way you live in the city?
I would say it does. Well, one way it affects things is that many people are coming in from other parts of Turkey because Turkey in general has a young population. So the city is just getting bigger and bigger. It's a very dynamic city. The young people are really kind of trying to do things and change Turkey and really looking westward, I think. So there's a lot of innovation in terms of arts, music.
As I've been walking around, I've noticed how modern, how European the city is. Does that mean it's becoming less Turkish?
It is more modern, and it may seem more familiar to a foreign person than Turkey would have seen 15 years ago or something, but I would still say it's very Turkish. Like, the way people interact, people still, you know, talk to random strangers and call them brother or uncle, just words of respect, you know, and so things like that actually haven't changed.
Istanbul is packed with layers of history, and to be honest, that's pretty much what I expected. The thrill for me was discovering how modern it is. It's a young, vibrant, exciting city, which adds yet another layer to its fascination.